Good afternoon. I'm Dan Fisher, President and owner of Fitz Design, joined with Susie Kostick, our Director of Marketing. This is something we've never done before. First of all, we don't do a lot of webinars. This is new to us, and a number of you have joined us for the first four. But this time we wanted to do something that we have not done in the past. We every year have a minimum of 2 new product launches. You'll be receiving any minute, or you already have received an email with the pages out of our catalog of the new items that we're considering offering for the summer and fall season. So if you have our catalog or look for the email, it's on page 95 in our actual product catalog, not in our pre-book catalog, which has the same cover on it. So let me tell you a little bit of how the process works, and you get to really be a part of the process. Each year, we develop somewhere in the neighborhood of 300 to 500 new items. Then those items go through consolidation and scrutiny. We listen to the industry, what there's a need for, and begin to put together an offering. So primarily when we come out with the new for the spring, those the year before, and that's really focused on body flowers. Then our summer, fall new products revolve primarily around wedding, sympathy, event, and we'd have a very strong Texas homecoming line, which also gets used in a number of other places, so we refer to it as school spirit. So the items that Susie's going to share with you today are the items selected to look at bringing in for our summer and fall 2015 line. Normally, we would your wholesalers would see these, and then they go through the line, pick out the ones that they want to try and turn their orders in. We've got a deadline of March the 6th. As of March the 6th, we get all of the orders in, and we look at how many orders of each item there is. If you like it and there's enough orders for it, we bring it in. If when you don't order it or the wholesaler doesn't order it, we take that as a statement of saying we don't like that, we don't think it's priced right, we don't think it's needed right now in the market, and so those items we don't bring in. That helps us make sure that the items we do have are strong and relevant, and that you're going to be strong using them on a regular basis. So what we're going to do today is to share with you the majority of those new items that we're considering, and let you look at them and see them and understand them and ask questions about them. As you're getting the email that also has the copy of the pages, feel free to print that out, make your notes along the way. Then you've got a couple of options. Your first one, call your wholesaler and say, I want to put in an order for these items. And when you do your pre-order with Fitz Design, please include these for me. If for some reason your wholesaler is not doing them or doesn't participate in part of our pre-order program, or you still are looking to be able to get the items, contact us directly, and we've got a number of options we can look at for you to make sure that the order gets fulfilled. You're going to see some really creative and new things and unique things. We've already been previewing these since the 1st of December in our showroom. The response on a lot of them is just phenomenal. We couldn't be more pleased with them. But it challenges us to constantly be looking for new ideas. And one of the things we try and really focus on are what are labor-saving ideas. Excuse me. The other thing we understand is that if we were to break Fitz Design down into one word and one word only, we know that we're in the keepsake business. We give you lots of tools to work with for wedding and sympathy and prom and all of those other things. But when it boils down, if we have to narrow it down to just one word, we know that we're in the keepsake business. So a lot of the things we look at doing are designed to be labor savings for you, and also that we understand that they're most likely going to be kept and used more than just one time, or a keepsake that are viewed and have that strong memory attached to them We know that prom corsages, for example, are kept long after prom, really strong memories, and those memories help them remember their experience when they worked with you. So that's a little bit about what we're doing. We're going to show it to everybody. It will be recorded, and it will be on YouTube tomorrow, as long as everything processes the same way that we do our hands-on design webinars, which will start back again on February the 17th. And on February the 17th, we will be doing 2 a day, one in the morning at 11 Eastern Time, and then one in the afternoon at 3 Eastern Time. If you need the current schedule, get a hold of us, and we'll be happy to get that out to you. Sign up for all of them. Sign up for the ones you want. The format is working great. Thank you for all the encouragement, the positive comments that you sent. It really does help us know that we're providing content that you're looking for and that it's having an impact and it's helping you. So I'm done with my rambling. Susie, you get the fun stuff. You've got the product. Go ahead and share the ideas and share it with them what we've got. And feel free to ask questions as we go along. Be happy to answer them as best we can.
Okay, well, like Dan said, we really put a lot of attention when we're selecting items into how you're going to end up using them and different ways to use them. Just because it's a sympathy piece doesn't necessarily mean that it's only a sympathy piece. Just because we call something prom doesn't mean it's just always prom. And the same with our event and our everyday. Everything has a crossover use because we are a keepsake company, as Dan mentioned. And part of the perceived value in our product line is that it is something that will last beyond the flowers. You know, we know that the flowers are the impact piece, but our items are made to complement and add to the value of your floral designs that you create. So we have a lot of things to cover here this afternoon. So it's going to be rapid fire, show and tell kind of. So if you do have questions, go ahead and you type them into the question box. And we have our organizers on the other end who are fielding the questions. They'll interrupt me as we go along. If there's something we need to know, Dan will break back in and give you some information. But what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to show you what we have coming in, and I'm going to kind of give you some design ideas and tricks to how to use it, and just some ideas of what else it can be used for. So let's get started because we have a lot to show you today. We're going to start with our Sympathy line. We know that's been kind of a struggling segment of the floral industry. We've kind of lost some of our sympathy business to funeral homes and just a lot of other, the changing ways people are doing their funerals. And it's time we recapture that because really, if you're not going to send flowers, or I should say, if you're going to send flowers, they should first and always go to a funeral. And so we've got some great items in our Sympathy line. We have a whole new line of beautiful resin, statues or figurines, we could call them. And all of them have these great sayings on them. Really, this one's sadly missed, many happy memories to love and treasure. So this is one of our line. We have several different, let's see here. We have some angels, and we have some more religious figurines as well. This is the Virgin Mary here. We know that birds are a great addition. You know, that old saying, if it has a bird or baby's breath or a butterfly in it, it will sell. Well, birds are very popular, and I think they're a great insertion into a sympathy piece.
One of the things that we've done here is all of the poems and prayers or sayings that are on these are all unique to these items from us. You won't find this item with these words on it from anybody else. These are entirely our designs from the very beginning.
I love this piece because of the way it's designed. It actually is designed to sit in your arrangement so that it's not necessarily flat. So you can secure this very nicely into a design and not have to worry about it wobbling or falling out. A lot of times when you have just a flat cross, you have to insert it this way. And just in movement and delivery. A lot of times it will kind of wiggle loose sometimes, but this little wedge here on the back, that's part of it, is not only wonderful for, securing it into your design and making sure that the gift, the keepsake item, is seen in your design, but then later when they get it home, it displays nicely as well. So that's another great piece.
And one of the things you'll notice is that there's a combination between Christian/religious and just spiritual. Listening to folks around the country, there's a heavy presence of religious Christian items, and many people are asking for things that they would just view to be spiritual or more neutral and not specifically God. So we've added in a few pieces like that. Susie will also show you a couple of pieces that we've added that are pet items. So you will see some that are very Christian and then some that are a little more neutral, and that's requests that we've got directly from you guys, the florists.
Absolutely. And another thing I want to point out is the detail that goes all the way around the piece. So oftentimes when we get these types of figurines, they're more 1 or 3-sided, and the back is kind of left just as an afterthought. But these sculptures, these figurines that we have, the back of them are they're finished so nicely all the way around. So no matter how you put those into your design, you know they're going to have a nice presence. Here's one of our pet, which is a heart. And then we have another pet, which is an insert. Comes on the nice, already done pre-pick, so it will stay really sturdy into your design. But it has the heart with a couple paws.
So part of what our thoughts are here is we know that the pet sympathy business is very strong. But is there a way to tie that pet sympathy together with the florist? So we wanted to make sure that you had a couple of tools that if you've got an opportunity for that, or you're working with the vets or offer it to the local vets, that there's a way that you can have something that's specific to the pets to be able to help create that additional market for you.
One thing that I have found here in New Mexico they're even doing commercials on TV. A lot of our funeral homes are handling pet cremations now, and they're actually handling arrangements for pet funerals. And it's the funeral homes doing it. So look into some of your local funeral homes and see if they're providing anything in the way of pet funerals or pet cremation. And this would be a perfect option to offer them to be able to offer their customers as well. So that way you're tying in with your relationship and building relationships with your local funeral home. Another nice one that has that same kind of a wedge at the back, so when it sits in your arrangement, it doesn't sit flat. You don't have to worry about it sitting upright, but it puts it at a nice angle so that you can design around it easily, and the verse and the beautiful detail with the cross and the ivy leaves can be seen. And then when it gets home as the keepsake, it just sits nicely on the table. Couple more here. We have another insert, a stake. We used to call these plant stakes, but this is so much nicer and more pretty. I think we need to come up with a better name for them. But again, just a beautiful heart, simple, with just a little bit of the detail with the roses and then the lovely verse. Those we hold closest to our hearts never truly leave us. These are great for plants, for your fresh arrangements. You could even stick this into a vase arrangement because it already has the pick, the stem to it. An actual true pick that's a nice, sturdy, strong stem to it is beautiful. It's very contemporary angel design. It almost looks like she's on a cloud, the way her dress is ruffled around the edges. And she's got her hands crossed in front of her. That's actually on a nice pick, and the pick is it 12 inches, Dan, 11 inches?
12 inches.
12 inches. So this is a great addition to a vase. This is something, honestly, we're calling it Sympathy, But a lot of these, this especially, this could be something that when a new baby is born, it could go into a baby arrangement. It could go into a Mother's Day arrangement or something for grandmothers. Angels are collectible. And so if you have a customer who's sending flowers to somebody who is an angel collector, this isn't just sympathy. So tend to look at our things and say, hey, what else can we sell that for? Don't try to just stronghold it into sympathy because it falls into a sympathy line. I mean, this is something that can be used in everyday work for anybody who collects angels.
One of the things that we've also tried to do is to cover multiple different price points. So if you're looking at that item in the catalog, it goes at $390. However, one of the things to always keep in mind is that's a suggested price. Contact your wholesaler. What we hear is most of the times the wholesaler are less expensive than we are. So make sure you're contacting your wholesaler for any of these. And I like that idea, Susie, about the angel not just being sympathy, but plenty of other ways to use it, especially that baby idea.
Absolutely. And then we have some beautiful crosses. We have two that match the same finish that our figurines do. One is a little bit more intricate and detailed with a cutout pattern. Very pretty to add into a flower arrangement or a plant. And then the other one, maybe a little more masculine with the dogwood flower on there. And both of them come with the little hanger on the back. So once it gets home, it's easy for them to display it. And this also is a good way for you to add a wire or hyacinth stick right to this little piece here, right to the hook. And then that you can insert it in to your design. So you could actually even insert that in over a vase by using the hook here and wiring up a hyacinth stick right to that hook.
Yeah, that would also look good hanging from a bamboo armature, hanging down over the top of the arrangement.
Right. And there are nice size. There are nothing that's overly large. Most people will find a place for something in their home that's this size. When you start getting a little bit too large, you kind of impose on where people are going to use it. But something like that is certainly very usable in anybody's home. Again, keeping with that keepsake item. I can show you this, bring you around. Here's another one of our angels. Again, she's a little more contemporary in her design, just a lot more flowing. And you can see how it looks, how beautiful that looks, and that adds to a lovely floral arrangement, just adding that statue in there. And when you're doing something like this, you want to make sure to design it so that the verse is seen. You don't want to cover that up. That's part of the value of the keepsake is the verse. So when you're designing, make sure that you keep your flowers in the front of it, based to the focal area, so that they get the full vantage of money they spent on their keepsake item. But just want to show you how something looks actually made up in a design. And another piece that I absolutely love is our cemetery vase. This is a strong, sturdy, well-made vase, and it has a beautiful little like leaf pattern that goes around that's gilded in gold. And then with this kind of like a platinum almost cross on the front. But this is heavy. This is a good strong piece. It has a very nice long pick on it, so that will be inserted into the ground. And that will stay very nicely when it's inserted into the grave site area. But it has a nice opening, about a 3.5 inch, 4 inch opening. So you can get a size bouquet in that. And I don't know if there's any of our joining us are from the areas where the Memorial Day vases are really popular. This would be a great item to have for Memorial Day, not just for sympathy work, but have some of these on hand for when you do your memorial vases. Just a nice. I just love how sturdy it is. This is definitely going to be
not just Memorial
over and over again.
And not just Memorial of the holidays, Mother's Day, Christmas, and as they're remembering people on their birthdays, Mother's Day, Father's Day, a lot of opportunities on to use that as folks are around.
And we have another beautiful figurine that are two doves. Dan, can you come back on and show that? It wasn't able to be shipped to me, but we certainly want to make sure that you can see it. And Dan has one there back at the office.
While I'm doing that, questions come up. How did you anchor the angel into that arrangement?
In this case, I don't want to pull it out. I actually took a piece of duct tape and covered the bottom. Let me grab figurine here. I took a piece of duct tape and I covered the bottom with duct tape. And then I stuck the bottom in glue and glued it right to my foam. In that case, it is a artificial arrangement, so it glued right to the styrofoam that I used to create the design. But I used the duct tape because the duct tape will peel off. Right. But the surface doesn't get damaged by the glue, and that way it comes out. And I do something like that, I tell the customer how I'm going to construct it. A lot of times, too, after the fact, I'll take a couple either wooden picks or a hyacinth stake that I've cut up into little, and I'll actually just put it in like 4 sections into the foam around the piece just to help it a little bit more stable. And then that's covered up by my foliages and my flowers. And that way, if it ever does come out, it's really obvious where it needs to go back in. A lot of times, people go touch things and move things at the funeral home. And if it gets wiggled out, at least the funeral director will they'll know exactly where it goes. So I put little wooden picks around it into the foam to say this is where it goes. That helps hold the stability. But use the little trick of having the duct tape on the bottom.
And then the follow-up to that is on those ones that have the triangle base. Would you attach that the same way with the hyacinth stakes around the base end of the foam, or would you do something different?
No, I would go ahead. I'm a crazy person when it comes to mechanics, so I want to make sure it stays in there, and I don't want to have to rely on a family member or the funeral director to make sure my piece gets placed exactly how I want it. So I would do the tape with the glue it in, and honestly, I've actually glued it into wet foam. It's not a permanent bond, and by no means does it hold as well, but it gives you some adhesion that it helps it stay in place, and then just on the side where I put those, it just gives it that stability. So go ahead and add those hyacinth sticks. You could even tape them in. You could put here and run a piece of waterproof tape around them and insert that right into your foam and help it stay as well.
So here's the other piece that Susie was talking about with the two doves. This would be an example of one of those pieces that is not specifically Christian, but very spiritual and clearly understood. It could be a great sympathy piece.
I think that's one of my favorite, Dan. I think the two doves with their wings opened up like that. I just think that one's a beautiful one. A couple other pieces we have are these mirrored crosses. We have one that is the love is patient, love is kind. So that not only is this good for sympathy, but this is a great wedding gift, anniversary gift. Again, just because it's in our sympathy line doesn't necessarily mean that that's the only place you have to sell it. It has a little angel detail up here and this beautiful, just this very elegant pattern in a very soft kind of a sand or taupe shade. It's very faint, but it's still noticeable. Just adds elegance to that. And then we have another one, which is the Lord's Prayer. And they also have the little clip that you can actually wire your hyacinth stake to insert them into your arrangement. Again, just a nice size for the keepsake gift. Another point on this that I want to point out is we deliberately made the wood a little bit shorter than the actual glass. So when that sits, if it's going to sit on foam, it won't wick up into the wood and cause the wood to get damp and start to bubble up. It is a pressed board, and we know what happens when pressed board gets wet. So we left that little space just so when that sits on your foam, it's not going to wick up into the wood to damage the keepsake piece. Just one of those little details that when we're designing things and creating things for you, we hear what you say and we pay attention to what the florists need and what they do. And so those little things really make a difference in our product line. Okay, I think I've got all the Sympathy items through. So do we have any questions before we move on about our Sympathy line?
Actually, there are 3 more Sympathy items.
Oh.
One of the
you know what?
one of the things.
Is this one of them right here?
Nope. Oh, yes, it is.
Yes. See, we have so many things we even forget ourselves. This is one of our illumination solar figurines that you can see the solar pack on the back. And in this one, I don't know if I can get it, if I'll be able to get it. It's pretty bright here in New Mexico.
Press the button on the bottom.
I don't think, let me see. I don't think I can get her to work. I had her on earlier, and I'll bet you. There we go.
And this was something we got a lot of requests for, was for solar items that can go straight to the to the cemetery and come on and off every day. Susie mentioned the solar charger on the back, an off switch at the bottom that begins to activate it. And so there are 3 of these. There's an angel, there's a cross, and those both have the kind of yellow dim light. And then again, for those folks who are looking for something that's not specifically Christian, here is a cherub, kind of a meditating cherub, with the white light in it. So there are 3 of these that are solar, and as you see, covering up the solar pack or bringing on night automatically turns the light on, and they're ready to go.
Okay. Was that it? Well, those are 3 items that I missed.
Yeah, that's it. And then kind of a little bit about Sympathy and Fitz. One of the things that's important to us is that realize that we're not just prom, that there's a whole lot more to what we do. We focus on keepsake, but that you remember us all year long. The staff works hard all year long, and we love our prom business, and we do a great job at it. But at the same time, that you think about us and remember us all year, and that we're creating products for you to use all year long too.
That's very true. We are a 365-day-a-year company, and we have something for just about every holiday, special occasion, you name it. Something in our product line can be used. And as Dan said earlier, one of our biggest growing segments, and we do a really good business, is the homecoming, the Texas homecoming, and what we're calling the spirit, the school spirit line. But it's really something that even for those of you who are joining us who are not from Texas, I would encourage you to kind of take a cue from what's happening there. And we may not have to do it as big, because let's face it, no one can do it as big or as great as Texas when it comes to those football mums. But, there's a business to be had in that, and that can expand across the country. Homecoming is growing and growing and growing. Football is a big thing in the South and the Midwest. I mean, let's face it, it's a great time. Kids are back to school. school. There's a lot of celebrations going on. So there's quite a bit of money to be had in expanding your homecoming business and looking outside just the homecoming dance. Let's get that spirit going at the football game as well. And one of the things we teach in our prom line is school fundraisers. And honestly, the homecoming is a great way to get your foot in the door with the school and come up with a great fundraising project that maybe includes a downsize, not the Texas Spirit Mom, but something similar to it. And one of the things we have here is our new line of our Paws wraps. Now this actually is the single. It comes like this in the single. But we also, and I'll bet you can't see it because I'm in front of it, it comes in the wider wrap that we have right here. It's a little bit wider, and it comes in a lot of different colors. You can see we paid attention to what the most popular school colors are, and it comes with a gold background, with a black background, and then with a silver background, and all the great popular colors, the greens, the blacks, the oranges, the reds, the purples, the blues. Just a great assortment. And these can be added to the school moms, the football moms. They can be added for actually just about anything you're doing. They do football moms, they do garters and arm garters, they do spirit wands. This is a great product. And like I said, it comes in the single, then it also comes in the wide. And we turn around here, it's 4 wide.
Yep.
It's actually 4 paws.
Yeah, so even for those folks outside of Texas, everybody's doing homecoming corsages. An interesting addition to put into it that ties together the school mascot and the school colors. We don't have all of them, but we've got a lot of them. So depending on the school colors and the mascot, we've probably got one of these paws wraps or paw streamers that will go really well with the schools in your area. One of the things we'll be doing in the summer is a webinar on how to grow your school spirit business. One of the things that's important to us is we want to begin to teach today's students at a young age the importance of having a florist all the time. And we've had a number of folks who've shared with us, as well as the people in Texas, how to create a strong connection between the school and the florist. So one of our summer webinars will be about how to generate and begin a school spirit program that can grow for you. And that's just one example of most of these are Fitz exclusives. They're items we've designed ourselves. But that's one that has gotten tremendous responses. We've shown it in the showrooms. Nothing else like it out there anywhere else. Comes in a 5-yard roll. And as Susie mentioned, it comes in the 1 wide or it comes in the 4 wide.
It's just a fun product to work with. I mean, you can cut it up and just have 1 paw and use it in the center of mums or on streamers. So it's just really fun. The possibilities are endless. Another addition, it's kind of homecoming, but really this is where we start to transition into things that cross over. Some of them are more specific to homecoming, and we do have footballs and things like that are obviously more homecoming, but a lot of our other chains are just fun additions, and they add sparkle and shine to the homecoming spirit moms and garters and spirit sticks that they do, but they also are great for decoration. So one of the things you may want to do, and maybe you're already doing, is you're helping decorate for the homecoming dance. And something like this is certainly, although we're saying it's for the spirit moms, these could be great in your decor if you're going to help them decorate their homecoming dance. And we have several new ones here. If I can remember them all. Let's see. We have Haven, which is kind of an oval disc. Let me tell you, these are great. If you're doing the brooch bouquets, if you're doing that for your wedding work, these little medallions here can be easily cut right off the chain. It's just a stitch here, like a thread, a strong thread, but a thread that holds this together. And you could cut these off and use these down inside your brooch bouquets. Because, look at how they glisten and sparkle and shine. And that's a great way to use something that is less expensive to help base what you're doing, so you can put all your higher end brooches on top and not have to fill the entire thing with expensive brooches. So look at some of these chains and how they can be cut apart and used in different ways. Here we have a square medallion. This is Mason, I believe. And then this one here, it's kind of got this pear-shaped or teardrop-shaped medallion and a round medallion with some little round orbs in between of it. That one is Lisa. And then we have the star. This is a great one for your homecoming, but this is also a beautiful one for the holidays, for Christmas. And this is Starlights. And then we have Cha-Ching, which is the money sign. That's fun.
And that's clearly for today's youth.
Yes, absolutely. We have this little round dot one here. That is called
Outrageous.
Yeah, Outrageous. And then we have Runner, which is kind of a solid band. You can still cut it really easy, but the threads are very tight together, so you have this solid band. This is something that would be great to add around your vases for event work, because it's that real solid contemporary masculine look. Then we have, right here we have Hot, and it's got this long, thin bead, and then it has a couple like the disco ball beads in it, and then some flattened out beads. So it's got a lot of dimension to it. Adds a lot of sparkle when it moves. I think this is one right here, Bubbles, is probably one of my favorites. It's very retro, and it's very loose when it hangs. And it has the large and small and medium-sized disc on it.
And all of these would be great for event work, hanging off of, creating a curtain look off of the edge of a large vase, or even using them to hang something down and hang blooms from the bottom of them. We hear about folks using them in party and event work to cover up a space that doesn't look attractive, and it's easy. Almost all of these come in 10 yards, so they're like 60, 70 cents a yard. But to put a piece of U-glue at the top of the wall, let it fall, cut it, and just kind of repeat that, and it helps cover up that unattractive space and make it more, tie it in more to the theme of your event. So we show these in school spirit, but they're great for event work also.
Yeah, it's crossover. Not just because it's categorized in one section doesn't mean that it can't be used or shouldn't be used in other areas. Like Dan said, we don't remember the door hangings that would divide the room back in the 70s. At least I do. Well, it's the same type of thing. You just put it onto a board or a tension rod and hang it down, and it makes a great backdrop for a cake, for a sweetheart table. You can use these secured all the way around the edge of the cake table to have glisten and glitter just dangle from the table itself. Just lots of fun ways to use this in event work. The next one here is actually called Mini Football, and I think that's because the little middle medallion here really resembles a football. But again, just because it has football in the name, don't stop using it for something else. And then this one right here is Amanda. And it's got a pretty little flower in the center, and then it's surrounded by more of a solid circle. And then, that's correct, these all are available in gold as well, aren't they?
Yep. Again, as long as we've got the demand and we've got the orders, the factory is committed to making them all for us in gold. We listen to you. You're asking for more yellow gold from us. So we've asked all of the factories to be able to make sure to make these items for us in a yellow gold. That's a new style. This last year, there are a couple of those. There's an oval and a square that have that mirror reflection in them instead of just the actual chain look. That one I like because it could easily be little mini photo frames if you wanted it to. It would make something really nice to put on just cut and put a bloom on it to use on it for a napkin ring or a table treatment, something in the center of the chargers. There's a lot of ideas that can be used with that.
And it's a nice size too. It's a full inch and a quarter, inch and an eighth at least, I think, in size. So it's a nice size. And look at the way that's cut, the facets on the inside there. And it's not really even cut. It's just the way they've applied the foil technique to it. But it's just beautiful. I think that's one of our nicer ones here. Here's the star one. And these are kind of cut in the center too, so they add a lot of sparkle when they move. That's just fun. Like I said, here's a great one for the holidays. Look at that one. Look at how pretty that is.
Yep, that's hot. Because it is.
It's hot. And here's that one I was talking about. It's just like a bunch of little tiny, almost little pearls, but it's very masculine, I believe.
I think it's great around vases. Make a super headband.
Oh, yeah. Look at that. Look at how that just shimmers.
It looks like champagne bubbles. That's why we called it bubbles.
Yeah. Part of the fun of getting all these is trying to name them all. I think we're going to run out of names pretty soon, but and this is the little mini football. And then the money. And I like the money when it can be laid flat, so they're all going the right way. But when it hangs, it almost twists itself. So it's very dimensional. It's not flat at all when it hangs. And I think that adds to it.
Any of these, if you've got questions, just type them in over to us. We'll be happy to answer them for you. That's another one that to me looks like a little mini photo frame. But that could easily be a belt, an over-the-shoulder piece, adding some motion into a bouquet. It could be an easy wrapping around a bouquet handle. Lots and lots of choices and opportunity with that. That's $7 for 10 yards. That's 70 cents a yard.
Something like this, when you have those people that come in and they want, a corsage for an anniversary party or a retirement party, they want everybody there to have a corsage and you have to do 50 of them. Something like this on one of our design discs, you just put the design disc, which has a magnet, glue it to the back, and have that drape over, and then all you'd have to do is attach one or two blossoms right to it. And how quick and easy and dramatic, and what a great value for something, really so easy and inexpensive. Make a great piece for something like that. And then the last couple two here.
Yep, Amanda and Lisa.
Okay. We've got lots more to show, so I'm going to move right along here. We have, like I said, things that are crossover. And this is kind of what I'm calling our holiday line. Although, again, it certainly doesn't mean that it's just holiday. We look at this. We have one of these that's all silver, I believe it we call Pom Pom for homecoming. But we added some color to it, and now it looks like peppermints. Just perfect for the holidays. And this stuff can be added into your trees, your wreaths, your garlands. And it works. It's just beautiful. It has that reflection, and it's wide, so it has a lot of visual impact to it. We have some more chains over here. We have a snowflake chain, and then what I call like the little mini disco balls. But the high reflection of those, when you drape those through a Christmas tree, especially when you're doing corporate work or large installations where you need a lot of visual impact, a lot of bang for your buck, our wraps and chains are the perfect thing to add to your holiday line. And here's a couple more. This is, to me, it looks like a football, but it's actually like a marquee shaped gem inside the wrap, and it's gold and silver, but beautiful for the holidays or for any day. Actually, any holiday. It could be used for anniversary parties. It could be used to enhance for Valentine's Day. And then this one here too. This is kind of a industrial high-tech look, I think. Look like little polished disc, almost like little records or albums.
That's illusion. And that's that one, if you stare at it too long, your eyes begin to go wacky on you.
I knew that would happen. I'll give you a little closer look to this. So you can see, it's just, look at that finish on there. It's kind of like a cut finish, so it has that illusion to it, but look at the different facets when you turn it and how that reflects.
And it does a great job reflecting the colors in it, too.
And there's what's this one called, Dan?
That's marquee.
Marquee.
Yeah, and that's one of the real strong color combinations right now of mixing gold and silver together, especially at the holidays. So that would be great for wrapping containers and cubes with for party work or just Christmas arrangements. That spearmint, that's one of my favorites. I love both the spearmint and the peppermint. They both came out really, really good. And like she said, great for trees, wreaths, garlands. Just a quick, it comes in a single row. It'd be easy to tie into a bow around the neck of a vase to give it that Christmassy feel. Lots of really unique ideas with that.
Start thinking about Fitz for Christmas, because I'll tell you, I did a rather large installation this past holiday, and we used some of the Fitz wraps in the pieces that actually went outside on the lamppost, and they were beautiful and impactful. And we used a lot of the wraps, and we cut them to different widths, and we strung them from the mantles, and I'll tell you, it was beautiful, eye-catching in a really large, dark area. So consider that. And I know we just got all the Christmas trees and glitter put away, but it's time now to start thinking about Christmas 2015. So take a look at some of these items and consider that for the holidays. Okay. A lot of you are familiar with our embracers. It's something we brought into our line last year, and they've been a great success. And we're excited about them because we've added some new great patterns and fabrics in our embracers. And we have a striped line. This one is a black and white striped, very Chanel. We have a gold. You can see how reflective that is. And you can see this is solid and this is very sheer here. So it's very elegant.
Yeah, one of the important things about this is everything she's showing you is just one item. One item, because it's elastic, we've been able to measure it just right, that one size will fit a 4-inch cube, a 5-inch cube, a 5-inch bubble, a 6-inch bubble, plus you see the rectangle vase that Susie's using there. So you don't have to have multiple inventory. The other thing that we try and do when we're working with whether it's the chains or the embracers is to use the glassware that's already in your store. So the bubble bowls that you already have, the cubes you already have, these are quick and easy. And one of the nice things about this one, plus another style that Susie will show you, these are reversible. So the gold reverses to an ivory, the black reverses to or the silver reverses to a black. The black, I think, also may reverse to a silver. So you've actually got two different looks in one. The black and white stripe reverses to the white and black stripe. So you just get to choose whether you've got the black on top or the white on top.
And like these are the two black, and this is the solid black, and this is the actually the silver. But you can see how it has the silver in between, so it gives you two definitely different looks.
Yeah, great two-tone look to that.
Yeah, and then again, the gold one, like Dan said, reverses to an ivory with the gold in the center. So again, it's very reflective. And you know what's great about these, especially if you're renting them out? I mean, it's so fast and easy to just slip it over your vase, and it changes the look. We've all done the vases for so long, and we're kind of getting tired of just a plain square and rectangle vases. This is a new way to give them a fresh look, and it's quick and it's easy. We've been wrapping ribbon and burlap and all that kind of stuff around them, and when sometimes we just don't have the time to do it, we want something to enhance our vases without all the labor, these embracers are the perfect thing to do that.
This is the perfect job for the driver to help with, or the transportation engineer to help with.
And a little trick to these is when you're putting them on, it's actually better to, instead of trying to slip them over the top, turn the vase upside down and stretch it over. I'm going to turn this down like this here so you can see. Go ahead and just slip it over. And that just, whoops, makes it a little easier to get it over.
Yeah, the bottoms normally have rounded corners, so it makes it a little easier. And then what you'll want to do is take that seam where it's sewn together and put that right on your corner. And once you put it on the corner, it completely disappears and that seam won't show.
Just love how easy and quick that is. There's a few more in that same kind of glittered style. A red one. This is actually kind of ivory and gold. Dan mentioned earlier that's a really popular color combination that people are using right now, the white and gold and ivory and gold, and then this is the black and silver.
Yeah, this style is sparkle, and it's also reversible. When you reverse it, you lose the silver. You just get the solid color. So instead of having a silver and red there, you would have just a straight red or a straight white or a straight black. And the nice thing with them being reversible like this is you can still have that red and silver theme, but not every table has to have the red and silver embracer on it. Half of the tables could be the red and silver look, and the other half could be just the straight look, but you're still only using just one item.
And you can stack them.
Yep, cool.
Yep, very cool. We also have this look here.
This is my favorite. This is called Wow.
It is kind of a shiny, wet look. It's a solid color. Almost like a lame look in fabric.
So someone in the showroom told me that was a 70s disco tube top.
Yes. That's kind of what it reminds me of. I'm glad you said it first. But it's just a nice, solid look. And these are great for, anniversary parties. You have your golden or your silver, or New Year's parties.
And the nice thing about the embracers that you can't do with like the diamond ribbon is they fit on bubble bowls and they hug the shape of the bubble bowl. If you go and try and do that with the non-elastic ribbon, it won't hug the bubble bowl. So the embracers give you another item, another look to be able to use and let the elastic do the forming for you.
We have a couple others, just some different textures. I'm going to hold this really close up so hopefully you can see the texture in that. It's kind of a ribbed with a little.
Yeah, that one's called Ruffles and Ridges.
Yeah, so this is all like a cinched elastic here, and then it's got that little teeny tiny ruffle. It's a little more natural looking in the fabric. It's not glitzy, but you could certainly add. Let's see, you could add a little medallion to that and glitz it up.
Actually, if you ran that horizontal, that'd be a great look.
Yeah.
Take those very inexpensive chains and run it around there. You've got a very sharp, quick, and easy, inexpensive look.
But it's just fun because it is a little bit more natural, like I said. So it just offers, not everything has to be sleek and sparkly.
You guys do know how that kills me,
dress
right?
Up a bit. Yes. But that's why we have something like this. And then this is another one. This one meets our burlap, but it does have a little bit of sparkle to it. It's more natural, but it has just enough sparkle to it to dress it up. And this is kind of our version of burlap.
Yeah, this is back to nature, and to me it has a very bamboo-ish look to it, and there's just a hint of sparkle with the gold threads. It's done very, very well for the folks that have seen it in the showroom.
So those are our embracers. Any questions about the embracers? Are any of you currently using our embracers and having some success with them? Let us know. We like to have some feedback on our product line to know what you're using them for and how you're having success with them. Okay, our next item, and you can kind of see them behind me here, is our line of chair backs. I'm going to move this up a little bit. We actually have, we have a cap here out of our wraps. This is meant to go over like the top of a chivalry chair. It can be used on a standard banquet chair as well, but it's all stone and it's just a little cap that slides right over the top of the chair to add that sparkle and glitz to it. Some of you are not fully into the rentals, and maybe it's something that you would have just for the bride and groom's chair until people start knowing that you have them, and then you can go ahead and get them and rent them out. Our other pieces here with they're elastic. It's kind of like a chair embracer, I guess. This one has a beautiful buckle on it. Look at that. Already complete, done, ready for you to just slip on the chair and go. And again, if it's something that you don't carry or never thought that you could get into this type of line, I recommend you have a few of these, put them on display in your consultation area, and start selling them for your head tables or your sweetheart tables as a way to note any important family members, like the parents' chairs. Just place them on certain chairs until people start seeing that you have them. And I guarantee you, once you start showing them and using them, you'll have more and more people ask for them. Something on probably the simplest of all of them, but look at how much impact just that little band of sparkle has for a chair. And then here we have it a little bit wider. So you have very different price ranges in this particular wraps line of our chair ties or chair backs. And then the beautiful, our favorite ones that we're really excited are their actual beautiful rhinestone, sparkly stretch bands, almost like a belt that goes right around the chair.
Yeah, these have been the rage in the showroom. They're a little less than $16. The detail is just amazing. And this was one of those things, being in the right place at the right time. We were in China the very first day these were introduced. And if you look at them closely, they're actually belts for wedding dresses. And then we were able to take them to a different factory who put them on to the elastic for us. And again, labor savings. So for your party work, your event work, you're not having to tie a bunch of ribbons on if you don't want to. Slide them on, put them in place, quick and easy and ready to go. One improvement we've made, you're seeing the seam there, but we've actually changed it that the seam will be behind the actual design, so the seam won't show on the back of the chair either.
And if you look, even the elastic that we used is pretty. So it's not just utilitarian. It looks nice no matter which side you're viewing it from, whether you pull the chair out and see the front of it or you see the back of it.
Yeah, to tie that all together, if you were going to use the embracer and the containers, that's the sparkle embracer. So you could have the sparkle embracer that would also match the chair backs.
Look, I mean, it has the rhinestones, it has the pearls.
All of that detail for less than $16 is just amazing. And again, like Susie said, you may not want to have them for every chair, but certainly having them for the head table or for the bride and groom, there's no question it's going to make them feel very special.
You've got to start out somewhere. You can't sell them until you have them. So I love that we're making them available at an affordable cost that allows you to bring something like this in, test it, start using it, and then you'll see eventually people will start asking you for items like this. But you've got to have it and you've got to be able to show it before you can sell it.
Showed these at the Teleflora unit president and probably a meeting, and about half of the ladies wanted to know how they could turn them into belts to wear with their clothes.
That wouldn't be too hard. They're beautiful. They really are. We're excited about those. We hope you are too. Another item we're excited about are our new buckles. And I love the buckles. I mean, they've just got so many uses. They can be used as a gem or a brooch for a bouquet. I mean, they're that pretty. They're acrylic. I mean, it's not metal, but the reflection and the attention to detail in these is just exquisite. And so you can use these to layer underneath the more expensive keepsake brooches, but it's a good way to be able to add that bling in an impactful size. Look at how big that is. That's probably a good 3 inches. And look at how they're used. They make great napkin rings. This one's like a bow tie. And this one I just took the ribbon, and it's actually the buckle, and then tied it on with the ribbon. Look at how impactful for that is. And these come.
Let me see that one there again, Susie.
Yeah, let's see.
Okay, so that is Patience, and that's 3 in a package for $5.90. So you've got $1.95 a piece there for just a beautiful napkin ring.
And, when you're doing this, if you're going to do it as a rental, you price it out knowing that not all of them are going to come back. So you make sure you account for that. But, what a great, if you are renting them out, that's a great investment on these. And I think the smaller ones, these come 5 in a pack, I believe. Maybe.
Well, that one's 3 in a pack. The lower left-hand corner is 3 in a pack, but the cost is only $3, so they're $1 a piece.
Okay. We
do have some that come with 6 and up to 10 in a package.
This is Rugged Beauty, and
so Rugged Beauty. Let's talk about that for a second. That's 6 in a package for $3, so they're 50 cents a piece. And you saw the bow tie ribbon treatment she did with them. Very sharp for, again, holiday work going into Christmas wreaths and garlands. This look is also extremely popular for homecoming work in homecoming corsages, especially in Texas.
Absolutely.
But the other thing that made us pay attention to this category is some of the comments we get about brooch bouquets is that they're heavy and they're expensive. Going with this acrylic line reduces the cost and reduces the weight. The only one who's going to know that they're acrylic is you, but they do make a nice base. If you want to put your fancier brooches up over the top, use this as a base underneath and you still get that really strong reflection. That's Mirror Mirror. That's 3 in a package for $5.90. That one's Triple Hearts. If you look real closely, there's 3 hearts. There's 2 plastic ones and then the little gem heart.
It's got a little flower design on it as well. Look at this. On that.
Oh, gorgeous.
The acrylic makes it affordable for you to start bringing in and testing whether or not you can offer these accents for your events and weddings. To have to do something with actual rhinestones and metal is almost cost prohibitive for you to kind of test run the process, but these allow you to bring this kind of stuff in, have it available to show and get your foot in the door when it comes to this stuff. The brides want it. They're going to find it somewhere. They're going to go to their wedding planner or their caterer or the linen company. But, why not go ahead and show them that you can offer these items as well? Your corporate events. They're just beautiful. And they're very lightweight. So on the brooch bouquets, this is a good way to base them so that you're not gouging your budget and put these two. Just look how, there's a lot of depth to them. Some of them are flat on the back, and some of them are almost like a button, so that they're a little bit raised up. But this one that's raised up actually has holes in it, so you can wire it through. You could put a wire through those holes. So that's our new buckle line. I'm really excited about this because I think the potential to add to vases, to be able to offer napkin rings, to enhance your chair backs. You can actually use some of these in your corsage work, Dan said, in your homecoming work. You can use these for add some bling to the cake. Why not add a little bling to the cake? These would be beautiful mixed in with the cake flowers or as medallions around the cake. a lot of ideas to use with what we're calling our buckles, but certainly they're more versatile than just a buckle. Okay, let me clear some space here a second. Dan, do you have anything to add while I clear some space here? Because we've got a lot of really great things to show, and I know we're trying to keep on time because we'll had a long day and you're ready to put your feet up somewhere. So,
actually, I have a unique item here that we've gotten a ton of response to. This is an accordion lattice. It's about 42 inches tall, but it actually opens up to 100 inches wide. Obviously, you can go horizontal like this, or you can go vertical. I've had a couple of people talk to me or say that the flower wall that Kim Kardashian had in her wedding that people are asking for. And with this, it's now very easy to do. Open it up, take the flowers that you want, drop them in, glue them into the grid there, create a frame that goes with this. I've had a couple of people mention to me that they saw this same item in the Sky Mall magazine, and they did. However, you may or may not have heard that the other day Sky Mall filed for bankruptcy. So you can't get them from them. You can only get them from us. This has just had tremendous response. I think the most popular comment the last few weeks is because it's made out of willow and it's very lightweight, that it would be very easy to use for hanging things from the ceiling or making arbors with, and not have to worry about trying to build a heavy structure, but it's light and easy to work with. My daughter's getting married on the Ohio River in April, and one of the things she has mentioned in the past was she wants the river to show, but she doesn't want the city to show. And so this can be a great piece to use to cover the areas that they don't want to see. For outdoor events or weddings, to create what the boundaries are to stay inside, to cover where supplies might be being stored on the other side, to create walkways so people know exactly where they should be going. The list of this is just on and on. I sent one of these to a designer who's near us one day. He called me at 10 o'clock at night with his list of items, and I bet he had 100 different ideas. But this accordion lattice has gotten just tremendous results, and really excited about all the versatile ideas that this can be done with. And like I said, it opens up to 100 inches real easy. We've had some people ask about bending it, and I'm going to really let them play with it first. It is nailed in place, so you'd have to be careful if you do try and bend it that you don't put so much pressure in it that it pops the nails out. But you may be able to see I'm getting a little bit of a bend to it. We'd have to play with it some more to know whether or not you could make an actual arch with it. But one thing we all know is you guys are 1,000 times more creative than we are. You can come up with a whole lot more ideas and creative things that can be done with it. Just let your imagination go wild, and we know you'll come up with great ideas for a number of these party and event items. But that accordion lattice is one of my favorite items this season.
You know what's great about that? You know, those of us who do events, you end up having so much inventory and you have to have a lot of storage space. That folds up to be flat and only about this wide. I mean, that you can have tons of those and not take up more than 4 foot by however deep you start stacking them. It's a great thing to have on hand because they store so easily and they don't take up a lot of space. So, from the other side of it, that's another advantage of having something like that on hand.
Yeah, they're less than an inch thick and they shrink down to 15 inches.
They're perfect. You can store them and they do hold up. They're pretty hardy and they're made very sturdy, so you can go ahead and stack them for storing. So those are fun. I know your brains are churning right now with ideas of how you're going to use that. Something really quick here. We have some new sprays and they're on the gold stems. We're listening to what the trends are and hearing what you're saying, and you wanted some gold items So we've got our quintets and our regal rhinestones with the gold stem. Currently, we are only offering them in the iridescent and in the dazzle, but it's another nice addition to our product line that helps achieve all of those goals that you have of being able to provide what's current and trend setting. And certainly the gold is making a comeback. And pearls, pearls are still staying around. There was talk that maybe they would kind of go away, that they were just a really quick fad, but pearls are here to stay. And a lot of our items, you'll see us bringing more pearls in. So we're offering a really pretty pearl spray too for you. Let me show you a little bit closer up. There's our pearl spray. And the iridescent in the regal rhinestone with the gold. You can see that's gold. And the dazzle. Just a real pretty, I love the gold. It's a soft gold, so it's not harsh. It's very real looking. And then the quintet, also available in the iridescent. So just something that we're expanding because you've asked for it and you want it. We've got some great hair pieces coming in. If I can get this out. This is a great line. These are bendable. They're halos or wreaths. They're adjustable to fit adult or children's size. And what's great about these, they have the permanent botanicals on it, but we've created this lattice work. And this lattice work allows you to then glue in and add to it in fresh flowers. They're pretty just as they are. You can use it just like that for something who wants something really simple, quick out the door to go. Or we add our fresh flowers to that and use this as a base, as a way to secure. And, we're seeing a lot more of the wreaths coming back. That whole boho kind of look where they're doing large headpieces. This is what we were thinking about when we created this line, because we wanted to give you a pretty armature foundation for you to start building your large headpieces on. You don't have to wire and tape each individual blossom anymore and then wire and tape it into a wreath. We've provided that base for you. We've given you the armature. Now we can go ahead and glue, just like we're doing with our corsages and boutonnieres, right onto this wreath headpiece armature, and then it will bend to fit, whether we want to wear it more down towards the front for that bohemian look, more up on top, and we've allowed it to be flexible in size. Like I said, it can go for children's size, or it can go to an adult size. And then you just go ahead and you can secure it tightly to make a solid wreath, or if you want more of a headband, however you want to do it. They're just a great versatile mechanic, yet it's pretty. So it can be sold just like this, or use as your mechanic and add all your beautiful flowers on it. And we actually have one that's a little more bridal in the white. But this is also something very pretty that could be used for First Communion. Great for bridesmaids. It's just the armature part of it is really what I want you to focus on. It's because it's allowing you to have the pretty, but then it's giving you a base in which to go ahead and add fresh flowers to it.
Yeah, the two key things here is that flowers in the hair is becoming really, really popular. This is extremely strong in Europe right now. We have a European distributor, and we provide a number of these frames to them, and we have been for the last couple of years. And then, like I said at the beginning, probably the biggest thing we've done here is we've saved you a ton of labor, not having to spend the time to put the framework together. It's already done. Each one of them comes with two 12-inch ribbons on the end of it, so you can make it exactly adjustable to the extent that you want it to be. The labor savings on these is just tremendous.
It's half the time to create a solid full floral wreath or headband than it is when you have to wire and tape each individual blossom and then wire and tape it. And we know how we do it. We're swinging it around when we're taping and our hands cramp up. Honestly, you just lay it out flat, attach some foliages to the armature base here, and then start gluing onto your flowers. And it's flexible, it holds, and it's half the time, literally. And once you start making them, I'm sure you'll even pare that down to a quarter of the time of what it takes to make a solid. So this is a great product, beautiful but very functional.
It's also going to be one of those keepsake things. After you're done with it, it's going to be gorgeous. And the bride or the prom gal or the homecoming gal or the first communion, that's going to be something they're going to keep. That's definitely not going to be disposed of.
A couple other items for the hair. We have an addition of some tiaras to our line. Like Dan said, homecoming is really big, so make sure you're offering your schools the tiaras for their homecoming court. These are also great for prom. You know, if any of you have been watching our webinars, you know that we say you should always sell 3 things: the corsage, the boutonniere, and something else. Why not a tiara with a few blossoms to it? You can certainly, if you want, you can just add a little hairpiece that's off to the side, or you can get one of our design discs and secure it to the band here, and then do a floral adornment onto our tiaras. But certainly it's just a nice, elegant little addition to our hairpiece line. And it's wedding, it's homecoming, it's prom, it's quinceañera. So there's a lot of uses for this. It's first communion.
And the nice thing about these is they're much lighter than the traditional tiara line. So we wanted to give something that was a little fresher, a little more airy, has some fluidity to it. The other rhinestone look is very traditional and also very successful for us, but this was to create a different look that we haven't seen anywhere else.
And these are somewhat flexible, so they're adjustable to fit a smaller head or a more adult size head. So there's flexibility in these as well. And they are very, very lightweight, very lightweight. So they'll work with all different types of hairstyles.
Yeah, we actually had the factory put it onto a headband, so it's got as much expansion as a normal headband would have to it.
Continuing on with kind of our wedding event stuff, a lot of you are very familiar with our bouquet armatures and are using them to great success. And because of that, we've added a couple new a size and a style to the line. This is the same as our larger one, but it's 1 or 2 rings smaller, I believe, than our other armature, our original armature. It's the same mechanic where the handle just actually screws on and off from the armature base.
Yeah, it's 1 ring less than our other one.
1 ring. And here's the handle. So when you receive these in the pack, you receive this is wrapped. Then there is the cushion handle, and then there is the actual armature piece, and you just screw them on. So if you're doing something, this makes it affordable for you to do brooch bouquets for flower girls and attendants. These are fun because they can be used all different ways. Again, we know we hold bouquets like this, but you could actually suspend that and have flowers cascading out of it. Lots of different ideas for our armatures, but we're getting a good response. You like them, so we thought we'd bring in a couple different shapes. Cascades are coming back. Teardrops are coming back into vogue, so we've added that shape as well into our line.
Yeah, the nice thing about the teardrop is if you want to make that into a heart, you could very easily.
Oh, yeah. You certainly could. Yeah, it's a great idea. So, and they're all constructed the same way. You just screw that on and away you go. But to take that up even a little notch more, we have our bouquet kits. Our brooch bouquet kits. And it's going to come packaged similar to this. Inside your package, you're going to have your armature. In this case, they're available in 2 styles. It's the teardrop and in the small, circular, the round. You're going to have all your brooches, which are individually packaged so that, there's no damage or anything. They're beautifully packed. You'll have the foam cushion handle, and then you have your handle, and then also you have a package of spot-ons. For those of you who are not familiar with our spot-ons, it is the pick that is used to secure baubles and brooches into, whether it's fresh bouquets or brooch bouquets. It's just a great mechanic for you to have to insert things into. It's a round disc that you can glue or use U-glue dashes and apply something to the top of that and insert it right in there. So those come right in your package as well.
So there's two kits. That one she just showed you is the teardrop shape. Comes with 12 brooches and has a pearl theme to it. The small one that she's showing you now, the Armature 2, has 7 brooches, and it all has a rhinestone kind of dazzle look to it. The kits are not meant to be the end-all. They're starter kits. We know that you're going to add things to them, so we didn't try and make it a completely perfect finished bouquet. We want you to add your personal accents to it, whether it's to use this as a starter and put flowers around it, or add additional brooches that might come from the family or other brooches that you've got in there, or add in things like a family member's handkerchief or a prayer book or some other special thing from the bride. So it gives you a great place to start in the frame, and then just like the accordion lattice, it lets you add your personalization and your expertise to it to flare it up and make it just right for that customer of yours.
One of the biggest obstacles is cost, and trying to select all the brooches and find the right brooches to work, and all that's been done for you. We went through thousands and thousands of brooches literally to find just the right ones, and they're all uniquely different in the fact that they're different shapes, a different combination of the way the gems are placed. So you have a great variety. So that worry is gone already. We've taken care of that for you. We provided you the base in which to make it. And then we've also provided you the mechanics in which to make it. So we've really taken a lot of the stressful part of making a brooch bouquet out of the equation. So that allows you to get creative with your flowers and whatever you want to add. And that was really our goal here in this. And simply, there's several different ways. If you look really close to our spot on, you can see 2 little holes there. And you can use that to wire the spot on to the back of the brooch. A lot of times what I will do is I'll put 1 or 2 little U-glue dashes on here and secure it that way to the back of the brooch. Then if I want to really make sure, then I'll run a little piece of wire to extra secure it so that I know that brooch isn't going anywhere. And so once you have your brooch attached to your spot on, then you just simply insert your spot on through the armature and make sure that your stem goes into the foam. This foam is not only just to make it comfortable for the bride to carry in a nice size, a comfortable size, but it's also a part of the mechanic to help those brooches stay in place. So once you get done, you'll have a solid frame covered with your brooches. We've taken the guesswork out of it. In our catalog and in the packet, there will be step-by-step instructions on how to put it together. So it's very easy. Like I said, we've taken the worry out of it and let the creativity part up to you of how you want to finish it off. But these are a great addition. I love this whole idea. Okay. In our bouquet line as well, some of us want a little bit more blingity bling. So we're doing a larger brooch, more or less, but it's an actual bouquet. And it comes nicely packaged in the box. It comes with 1 really large statement brooch. It comes with the handle. There was like a little screw back on here you can see. We just go ahead and screw that right on. And then add our foam handle. And you could do something very simple around that. And then you can start adding your flowers, and depending on what flowers you're adding or how large the bouquet is going to be, you can actually leave the foam off for a larger, thicker bouquet handle. You're just going to have to kind of judge for yourself what you're putting with it. And if it's going to be a really large bouquet, then you may want to leave the foam handles off and use your stems as your cushion. But another thing you can do, honestly, is you can add multiple ones of these into your bouquet and then create your bouquet around it. So that could easily be
if you really want to get creative.
And then add multiple ones for the bride.
If you want to get real creative, you can take and put a brooch on both ends of that handle.
Oh, I see you can.
I call that the baton look.
Well, it certainly creates a nice finish. I mean, if you want a traditional bouquet, but you want to have that statement at the bottom, or you could do something where the flowers are cascading down, something, looped here and then cascading down.
Yeah, that's how I could see it. Would just be fabulous walking down the aisle for a wedding bouquet.
You can actually put a string and hold it and then have flowers dripping down, so it's almost like a purse. So lots of ideas, but that's a good point to point out that the bolt or the nut or bolt section is on both ends of the stem, which allows you that creativity.
There are 3 rhinestone styles and 1 pearl style in this look. What we're seeing, folks, is that becomes the focal point, and then they're adding flowers around it, and the look is just a beautiful, beautiful look, and very inexpensive. I want to say it's under $35, if I remember right.
Yeah. Okay. Another fun product that we're adding is our garland line. And we have actually 2 different types of garlands that we're adding in. We have this here, and this line right here has 7 brooches on the garland, and this is kind of how they're spaced apart. They're not right on top of each other. They're spaced apart like this on the garland.
Yeah, there's 7 brooches in a yard on the real fancy styles on the left there, and then the super gem style on the right actually has 30 stones spread out over 3 yards.
I'll show you my ugly mechanic in the back, but see, they come, there's quite a few of them, but that's a good way to see how far they're spaced out. This is fun, and so I don't know what to do with them on a garland. Well, just look at, we've done the labor for you, and if you're using our bouquet armatures, I've just wound that around the bouquet armature, and I've created a base already. Then all I had to do was come in with a few of the other brooches, the actual bling brooches, and add just a couple on top of that. But that garland created my base on my bouquet armature. They're a great way and a cost-effective way to start off a brooch bouquet.
And then like we've been talking about, great labor savings. Yes. To be able to take that and put down that first layer, that first base on a brooch bouquet, quick and easy, instead of putting them all there one at a time.
You can see that I actually used 2 different types of the garlands on this one. That is one of them. This is actually one that we decided not to select, but I was playing around with it just to see how it would go on there. And then there are 1, 2, and 3 of our brooches on that, and that's a beautiful base. That right there is a whole bouquet. It's 2 garlands and 3 brooches, and then when I add my flowers through that and underneath that really becomes a statement piece. And I'm using the armature as something pretty as well too. But this is fun, and you know what? It's a garland, but you don't have to use it as a garland. If you want to cut those off and add those into corsages, or you want to add those into cake embellishments or around the napkins, you don't have to leave it as a garland, but we've done the label for you. So it gives you the option to use it as a garland. Because a lot of times we'll have a brooch and we'll say, wow, if I could just string some of these. Imagine them hanging down in the center of a tall cylinder vase, just the garlands dripping down in the center of that, reflecting. You know, there you go. You don't have to string them already. We've done the work for you.
It'd be real easy to hang that down and in the gap put an orchid bloom.
Oh, beautiful.
So you've got a gem and a flower, a gem and a flower. Be a beautiful hanging garland.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and you saw on that our super gems, which brings me then to the actual new gem line we have, which are our super gems. They come on a nice long stem. We have three shapes. Yes, we have the emerald cut, we have a pear cut, and then we have the round diamond cut. And each of them come in a dazzle, like a rhinestone, and then an iridescent. What I noticed about the iridescent today when I was getting things set up, just the color in them, they almost have an antique or a Victorian look to them. So I really liked that about them. It's not just a typical iridescent. Sometimes iridescent kind of looks kind of cheap or cheesy. These really have an elegant, like almost a Victorian old-fashioned look to them.
One of the most important things about this is that there aren't any gems that you can use horizontal. If you wanted to create a collaring of gems, everything comes with a vertical stem on it. The nice thing about the super gems is the way they're designed, you can use it horizontal or you can bend that wire. It's a very flexible wire and use it as a vertical placement. So you've got both with the super gem. Again, trying to make something for you that's real labor savings, but also something that doesn't exist out there anywhere. This is the only gem that we're aware of that you would be able to use to create similar to a horizontal collar or doing something horizontal out of your bouquets or out of your large centerpieces, your arrangements, but then also be able to pinpoint exactly where you want it to go by using it vertically also.
And it's a very sturdy stem, very sturdy. It holds the weight of the gem on top of it. And you can see I've bent that now several times, and it's not coming loose. I don't have to worry about, when you bend a wire too many times. You just place your finger on the back of it and bend it, and it's staying nice and secure. Either direction you want to be able to use that gem in. And we have the emerald. Here's the round diamond cut. Again, two sizes. We have the large super gem and the small super gem. And then the pear shape. I think these are going to be a great addition when the bride just wants the bling throughout her bouquet. She doesn't want a full brooch bouquet, but she wants that impact, that big sparkle. This is going to be a real affordable way for you to add that in to the budget bride. But even though I'm saying budget, you can add these into the high-end bride too, and she's not going to know the difference. But it has a budget cost, but a high-end look to it. Let's see, a couple other items, some sprays. I think one of these are called the tapered designer sprays. We have one that's almost looks like a fern leaf to me, but it's got like a pear-shaped rhinestone on the end. And this one's a beautiful pearl. These are going to be great, especially in those cascade bouquets that we are seeing making a comeback. These can be, elegant cascading out of the bouquet and down into the tail of the cascade to add that sparkle and gems to it. They can be used as a collar around a bouquet. I think these are great as a part of a headpiece already that has a nice bend to it. And over the shoulder, for an over the shoulder corsage for the mother. lot of great uses for this. And it's the pearl and in the rhinestone. And I think I'm getting to the last two items. I'm looking around here. I think we, like Dan said, we're adding more pearl things into it. And these are a couple of our pearls that were pearl brooches that we're going to bring in. Something a little bit smaller here. And then something that has a little more bling here at the bottom.
Yeah, and all our brooches come with the spot on in the package. So you've got the tool to be able to use them into your bouquet right away.
We know that your time is money, and so we're doing everything we can to provide you with all the mechanics and take all the worry out of it so that you can concentrate on being creative and having fun in your designing. And if you've been joining us on our webinars, you've heard us say over and over again, have fun with what you're doing. It's so important that you're enjoying what you're doing, because when you're having fun, you're more creative, and when you're more creative, you're giving those customers a really great value for their money, and they're going to come back to you. So I think that's all the items I have, Dan. If I've left anything out, I apologize. But
I don't think so.
That's a lot of stuff.
You did a great job. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you for joining us. This is something we love. Susie has been instrumental in designing a lot of these items. She and I work very hard at putting together, taking your comments and trying putting them into products that will work for you, that hit the things that are important to us: labor savings, timely product, fit the keepsake mode. And again, this was something we've never done where we've just shown the entire line to everybody, but it was important to us that we try and do it. This webinar format allows us to do it. It'll be on YouTube where it can be watched over and over. And I can't stress enough, thank you very much for joining us. We don't have a webinar next week because we're busy. Everybody's busy doing Valentine's Day, and we're really hoping you have a great, great Valentine's Day. We're always here for your questions. Like I mentioned at the beginning, contact your wholesalers to put in together your orders. If you have any difficulty with that, feel free to contact us here at Fitz Design, and we'll definitely put them all together for you. We'll figure out how to make sure that you get the items that you like. Tell your friends what you saw and what you see. Let us know the items that you like. Any questions you've got. We only received the one question today. But if you've got questions, pass them along to us. We definitely want to be able to answer your questions and make sure that we're providing what you're looking for. Thank you for staying late with us tonight. Have a great evening, and we will see you on the 17th. Right after Valentine's.
You want to make sure you take our survey. So please take our survey. Your feedback is imperative to our success and your success. So we listen to what you say. So please take that survey.
Yep, absolutely. The surveys are very important. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody.
Have a great night.
Happy Valentine's Day.